We move on to Davos, Switzerland now, where delegates at the World Economic Forum are engaging in discussions about issues affecting the world today. And the second day of President Donald Trump's government is the talk of the town at the annual meeting. Newzroom Afrika business editor Xolani Mbanjwa joins us from Davos to discuss this further. Thank you for your time, Xolani. Talk us through the topical issues around the US president, of course, with foreign policy, aid, as well as artificial intelligence being some of the major concerns.
Good afternoon, Tumisang. Yes, indeed, it is a very important discussion. Almost in the past 4 years, when you talk about the influence of AI and climate finance and climate change, something that has been the talk of the town here in Davos, from the 3,000 high-level delegates that are attending this annual meeting this year. The inauguration on Monday of Donald Trump had a lot of people talking about how he's going to influence the global discourse, global discussions on a number of issues. We know his views on climate change, and it's something that has been quite topical here, funding climate change and moving away from fossil fuels, something that Donald Trump himself does not believe in whatsoever. So he has already made sure that the USA, which is the biggest economy, moves away from that. I spoke to the governor of the Reserve Bank, where he was actually concerned that Donald Trump presidency is going to or could undo the work that has been done over the many years, because there has been a lot of discussions and agreements at COP29 and many other forums, and those have had to do with how you help countries, developing countries that are in Africa, to actually move on without relying so much on fossil fuels such as coal. So his presidency, his term is looming large. We are expecting him to actually address the World Economic Forum tomorrow, where he is going to do so virtually. It's something that is quite topical here, how he is going to actually change discourse. There won't be so much money available to fund climate change, and it's something that has been quite a huge topic here. But coming back home to Misang, on the big story of the day there back home, the inflation rate ticking up, I also asked about what we can expect if we are borrowers when next week the Monetary Policy Committee meets, and whether we're going to see a cut and how much of an influence some of these discussions and Donald Trump's presidency might influence some of the decisions. This is what he had to say about all of that in an interview earlier on. What can we expect? Those who have access to debt, those who are indebted, they are waiting for the Monetary Policy Committee in a couple of days. What can we expect? Any hope that we might get some reprieve? I know you are just a small part of it, but of the committee. But what can you tell us now?
Well, Xolani, I thought you are my friend and you are a saver, and now you are telling me that you too are a borrower. And I think that South Africa had been on a disinflation process itself. And now this disinflation process gets complicated by these global developments that are taking place. We have had our own idiosyncratic issues, but we were now getting on top of it. Food prices had been declining. We had seen fuel price decline and so forth. There are still issues with respect to electricity prices, but there might be there will be electricity price increases, but at least we have the electricity. We have had electricity for now for just over 300 days. In as far as whether you would expect a reprieve or not, if you wait for Thursday, you will know whether there is a reprieve or there isn't. There will be deliberations as it so happens all the time, and and that is where we will leave it.
So when you listen to that, I don't know what you glean from what Lese Chakanyaho said there, but I personally think there won't be any reprieve. There might be a halt on interest rate cuts, and there won't be an increase, which is still a good thing. But in the next couple of minutes, if you turn around, you will see that a group of us are actually converging on the left there. We are expecting Cyril Ramaphosa to emerge from a session inside the building where he's going to be giving us his take on what has been taking meetings. We are outside here waiting for the minister, for President Cyril Ramaphosa. 5 p.m. South African time to give us his roundup of how WEF 2025 has panned out for him. Back to you in studio, Tumisang.
We'll keep a close eye on those developments. Xolani Mbanjwa out in Davos at the World Economic Forum.